Look, our friends. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again, it is time for another Orc Mode workout. And today was Dynamic Effort Upper Day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Reach down there and do that, right? And then do the same thing for my breakfast chat. Thank you so much. Speed bench. I decided to go with more aggressive band tension. The speed wasn't super great on these today. It was okay. I would like it a hair faster, but I think it goes to show us how aggressive band tension ridiculously decelerates you. Right? It can decelerate you on an enormous level. One of the reasons we like it for speed work, right? We get the stretch reflex from the overspeed eccentric, and we decelerate near the top. So no matter how hard you push it, even if you're explosive out of the bottom, you decelerate very, very quickly near the top. It becomes hard. You have to really push through. So I'm going to keep doing that a little bit with bench. When I look back at where my best benches were before the shoulder impingement and all the stuff I've had to rehab, especially all the big close grip benches, right? What was I doing? A lot of band tension on speed work, right? Of course, a lot of overhead and triceps too, which we're doing now. But again, we did 8 triples with this today. And again, it's not a lot of bar weight. It's 137.5. Now people say, look at your plate of size, shouldn't that be 135? Yeah, but I run spacers in between the collar and the plate so I can hook all those bands on. Right, I have a little roller spacers and they weigh 2.5 pounds. I'm running 110 pounds of bands. Okay, we're running a lot of band tension. And for anyone who hasn't worked with bands, they don't understand. Those of you who've used bands, start getting over 100 pounds on bench work, they understand. Even locking it is hard. It feels like even though you're trying to go explosive, that to lock each rep, right, you are pushing as hard as you possibly can. It doesn't feel like the weight that's on there. Some people look at that and say, well, what is that? Maybe 250. It doesn't feel like 250 at the top when you hit those bands, when you're going fast. So that's the idea. And again, I'm going to be very shoulder and tricep dominant. Now, you guys will notice I'm going to do more and more really what I would call peripheral work. Arm work in general. My arm work is all going to be geared towards increasing big lifts. It's not all going to be like what people would think of as traditional bodybuilding stuff. Okay? So some of my arm work is relatively low rep. And I'm not worried about doing certain things with the movement. I'm worried about what's going to take that single joint exercise and give me the most carryover to like my chin up, right? It's going to give me the most performance improvement. But I'm also doing rear delts and triceps pretty much every day with bands. So those are also big weak links for me. I feel like the rear delts, now that I've been doing all the dead hangs every single day. I do dead hangs every single day. I do feel like rear delts for me are a potential limiting factor as far as even my shoulder mobility. Because we can argue about that all we want, about my overhead mobility. And people can argue about mobility work all they want. My God, I do dead hangs every day for 30 seconds of my full body weight with a narrow grip, okay? If people want to talk about mobility, that should be the be-all for overhead. Still not great. I feel like my rear delts really are a factor. I need to bring that area up. And you know what? It's one of the things that I'm going to get away with trying to train every day. I'm not going to do it with traditional weights. It's going to be band work. It's going to be almost restoration work. High rep band pull aparts. I started messing with face pulls and I noticed my shoulders do not like them. They're still clicking a little as a result of it. But it's on both sides, not just my previously injured side. It's getting better though. I only noticed it a little bit on some of my chin-ups today and things. But that and then band press downs for triceps. My triceps and my rear delts are going to be a big deal for me. Okay. So people are asking me, well, what do you do when it's not on camera? I do cardio. I'm doing band press downs, band pull aparts. I do some neck bridges and I do hanging leg raises. Really neck extensions. I use my neck harness. And I try to do about 6 or 7 total sets a week. Same thing with abs, 5 or 6 really good sets of hanging leg raises. I like to do them straight leg with boots on. Pull-ups, went up a little bit in the weight today, and I went pretty narrow grip on these today. I'm trying to do really narrow grip. I probably went a hair narrower than is ideal. But again, it felt good. And one of the things I do notice, I do feel like my forearms are a potential limiting factor on pull-ups. It's like I feel like biceps are for my chin-ups because I have massive lats. People who've seen me enough shirtless all admit that. My lats are big. People who know me in person who are into lifting actually think my lats are bigger than my quads. Interestingly enough, I've had that said that people who know bodybuilders and things, have been around a lot of bodybuilders and other fit pros I know, usually actually think my lats. So on camera, everyone thinks it's my quads, right? In person, everyone thinks my lats are my biggest muscle. Like, okay. I think they need to come up. But probably just my structure. But I feel like on the pull-ups and chin-ups, arms are a limiting factor for me. So we're going to do a lot more direct arm work to address this. But it's not going to be just, guys, I'm going to do a bunch of concentration curls. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to work on each thing that we need to work on. Triceps are going to be the highest priority. And they're getting a lot of work off days. It's going to be like 20 sets of band press downs throughout the week. But the pull-ups went okay. I mean, I got all my reps with the little weight boost. We bumped the weight on the closed grip incline bench, and I'm trying to pause on every rep. I'm trying to really focus on those pausing. Great chest and shoulder pump on these today, though, even with the sixes. I mean, we went up 2.5 pounds. They went good, so I feel like I'll be able to do it again next workout. So next week we'll come in and we'll bump it again to 200. And I know people have pointed out, weren't you stronger at these on the wider grip? I was. But the closed grip works things harder, and I think it's going to have better carryover to my closed grip benching. I'm going to compete with closed grip. I think that's what I've decided. No matter what I've done with wide grip, my wide grip never catches it. My shoulders feel better when I focus on just closed grip, just and they always have. I'm just going to go for closed grip. I'm going to try to build a 405 closed grip bench. Actually, let's not even say try, let's do it. I'm going to come back to a point too. I'm not going to ever mention my bad bench genetics again. I may lie on camera and say I have great bench genetics. And it might sound like a contradiction, but this is self-programming. This is how you get good. It's why I banned everyone today who claimed they were an ectomorph who couldn't make gains, blah, blah, blah. I banned them. I don't need them infecting the rest of my audience. These people cannot be helped. They are beyond hope. They've accepted a lie because there is no such thing. Because I fix hard gainers as clients all the time. Right? We put 25, 30 pounds on hard gainers who couldn't do it before. They couldn't eat enough. I cure this. This is not real. But you can't have them infecting other people with their self-inflicted mental illness that they've created. They've programmed themselves to fail. Okay? Same thing we talk about the benching. We know that when you lie, experiments have been done on this, when you lie to lifters and tell them they have great genetics, they get stronger faster. This has been studied, by the way. It's been studied. So I know that I have the genetic ability to get to a 405 bench. And I'm going to do it close grip. So now we just got to put in the work. I know for a fact I have the ability. Zero doubt. But inclines went good today. Chin-ups, I went with the kind of the wide grip I'm doing now, which I need to get full range of motion. And bump the weight slightly, through an extra little 5 on there. We'll keep working these up. But I can feel so much bicep when I do them that I know that my biceps are my limit. I feel that deep stretch at the bottom and at the top, that deep contraction. All right. I need more bicep work. And people say, couldn't we just do more chin-ups? Well, it's hard to recover. It's hard on your shoulders and everything. It's what I'm realizing. 3 sets of pull-ups, 3 sets of chin-ups on both my upper body days. That's it. I don't want to get overuse on it. If I can get my biceps stronger, my chin-ups will go up, which is why I'm doing 6s on a specific type of curl. Okay? And if my biceps get stronger, there'll be a synergy between the two. They'll grow between the two lifts quite well. Again, get stronger on weighted chin-ups and stronger on barbell curls. As a combination, over time, your biceps will absolutely grow. Guarantee it. Okay. But the chin-up and the pull-up affect a lot of my other lifts. Think of all the muscles involved. I need them to get stronger. They train so many other muscles that I need. So if I can fix the arm weakness, I can get stronger on shins. So make my lats grow quicker, my upper chest, everything. Overhead press. I realize I don't care about the lockout. I notice my shoulders don't like it as much when I go wider grip. Sure, I can go lock harder at the top because, again, my shoulder structure. But I feel more stable. I'm stronger. Everything's tighter when I go close grip. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build my overhead back up, close grip, which close grip is what I use when I hit 227.5 for a max before, if you guys recall. I've done 225 on camera back when I was pushing the press a lot. I've done it at least a dozen different times. Okay? At least a dozen. I've done 227.5 once. Again, need to rebuild all this now that my situation is gone, and I'm going to keep working on the dead hangs and keep working on my rear delts. I think that combination is really what I need to continue to get better overhead mobility. In the meantime, I'm just going to explode on these as hard as I can, and I get better bar speed, which lets me follow through a little better at the top. Even though my range of motion itself seems to be physically limited, I can still hit more speed near the top with this closer grip because I get more tricep behind it. I get more pop out of the bottom. I'm tighter. So again, we bumped this 5 pounds over the slightly wider grip last time, and I'm going to slowly work it up. The goal will be, hey, can we get up to 135 again for sixes? Then can we get to 155 again for sixes, right? But it will carry over really well to my closed grip incline, which will carry over to my closed grip bench. Make sure that my shoulders and upper chest are strong for the benching. And we did snatch grip high pulls, went up 10 pounds today. And I know I'll be able to increase on these pretty quick, especially doing sixes, because I don't run into the same strap problems. The issue I have with any set of straps on these is they start slipping. High reps just suck for me because I don't like straps. I'm not good with using straps. But I'm finding these are okay, actually. The figure eights are actually okay on these if I use a knurled bar. So when I use that smoother weightlifting bar that I have, it's a problem. If I use something with a little bit of aggressive knurl, I can get away with these if I don't try to do a bunch of reps. And since we're doing sixes, not a problem. We're getting that explosiveness we want, hitting the whole upper back, side delt, even front delt, hits the entire shoulder girdle. Again, forced to take a really heavy eccentric. We're training explosiveness, and then we're getting that heavy eccentric overload. Again, people who say stuff like eccentric-based training builds hypertrophy, and then they do it wrong. They use some light weight, and they control it. Like some weight that they could actually lower for 3 seconds. All right, you're not doing true eccentric overloading if you can take a full 2 or 3 seconds to lower the weight. It's too light. This would be an example of eccentric overload when you compare eccentric overload from the lab studies on hypertrophy. This has to be a weight heavier than your max on the concentric. But snatch grip high pulls. One of the king of exercises for your shoulder girdle. All right, today, because my shoulders felt better, because I used everything really close grip like the overhead press, they weren't really hurting. So when I went to the JM presses, they felt okay with 80 pounds. Now, this is about as heavy as I feel like I can get away with at the moment. My elbows are almost going too low. I'd like my hair higher, but I got phenomenal tricep burn and stretch, which is what we want. So I'm going to try to stick out this weight for just a little while. Try to get a little better with the form on it to where, again, I can pull my elbows in a little more. I need them tucked in more and a little higher. And I'm trying as hard as I can to tuck them. So we just need more practice at it, but I don't think I can increase the weight without the form degrading more. This is on the edge of acceptability. Like I said, I'd like the elbows a hair higher and a little more tucked in, but I can't quite seem to get it. We'll see if I can get stronger with this weight and do so, and then when it looks really clean, we can go up another 2.5 or 5 pounds. But these did better today than last time. They actually felt really good in my triceps. I didn't feel shoulder. I felt all tricep today. And they hammered my triceps. Absolutely hammered them. So I was happy with that today. But like I said, looking at it, I'd like to improve the elbow position just a little bit. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Then we get over to my barbell curls. Went with the 125 because I found last time 115 was too light and I did it for the last 2 sets. So I did 3 sets with it, and then I got like 1 extra rep at the end. Now, so that people understand what I'm doing with the curl, I'm not trying to use shoulder extension. Why? I've had a shoulder impingement. I don't want to create a new one. Okay, I'm raising up really high on it. We're not using really any more bicep tension at that point. All right, we're using one head of the bicep that actually gets involved a little bit more with the extension at the top. The bulk of the bicep doesn't. So what I'm looking for is to get my elbows locked at the bottom and to hit peak contraction with the heaviest part of the weight. So I'm tucking my elbows back, right? Almost similar to what some people, bodybuilders, call like a drag curl. So why am I doing it this way? So that I'm actually training the elbow joint through the full range of motion. I'm not training technically what the bicep is capable of, because you can go all the way up to your face. And that is technically part of one of the minor functions of the bicep. Okay? But I'm trying to take the bicep at the elbow joint through the elbow's full range of motion. So I'm going all the way down, and then we're going up as high as the elbow allows. So when we hit that peak contraction, the weight is so heavy that I can't handle it anymore because my elbows are back. And it gets pulled back down pretty quick because it's so heavy at that point. So I'm hitting the hardest mechanical tension at peak contraction while still going all the way down at the bottom. What is this doing? We're loading the hardest mechanical tension while the bicep is fully contracted. So now we could argue about size benefits there, but what I'm looking at is specificity. I'm looking at leverage. How does that carry over to a weighted chin-up? Okay, what I'm doing here is very specific to improving the weighted chin-up because it gets hard near the top. All right, that's where the bicep really can get into trouble. I want my biceps to be stronger on the chin-up. I mean, in the combination, they'll grow. Then I did some reverse curls. I only used 65 pounds, and 3 sets of 10 was hard. I went for another rep. I picked the weight right because I tried to do the third set. I'm like, let me see if I can get an 11th rep, and I couldn't lift it out of the bottom. These burned, so why do them? Again, forearm. I feel like my forearms just in general and my biceps, all of it need to get thicker to help my bench press. I think it'll help my pull-ups. But I just need to thicken all of that up. More thickness. I need my whole arm bigger. This works the bicep still, works the brachialis super hard, the radial brachialis super hard, which is on the forearm. Brachialis is on the edge of the bicep. Works the forearm extensors. Or is it the flexors? It's the flexors, actually, I believe. I get those two confused on the forearm. Right? And again, I'm having to use a pretty lightweight. It's pretty hard to go real heavy on these. Maybe I will eventually. Right now, this will work. I'll have to build the weight up here. But again, getting complete arm development of all of it, because I need all that meat. I need that meat for my bench press. Let's be honest. What's the best way to build a big bench? Build every muscle in your upper body. Forearms matter. Lats matter. Your traps matter. Yes, the pec, front, delts, and triceps are the primary movers. But these things affect the stability on it. If it ability to squeeze the bar hard. Then I finished off with reverse curls. I went up 20 pounds today. Sorry, not reverse curls. Behind the back curls. Now, I set those pins a little too low, so I ran over and threw one of my Eva foam mats up because I was tapping it a little on the first set. And we got sets of 12 with this. You know, I've had some people try to chime in and give me advice on these guys. I used to be really strong on these in my 20s. I used to do work sets with 275. I'm good. I don't get forearm pain or wrist pain from them. I'm just going to build them back up. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.